Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Salty Fundraiser, where I answer questions from friends, family, and even strangers on the internet. And if I have something to say about it or rant about it, it may show up here. So feel free to shoot me an email if you have a question, and maybe it'll show up on a future edition. Today's Salty Fundraiser comes from a reader who would like to remain anonymous. And she is a leader of a nonprofit organization who does not do fundraising herself, but leads a fundraising team. And the question was, Patricia, please tell me how I should be incentivizing my fundraisers. My response to that question probably cannot be contained within 3 minutes. But the one thing that I would like to really emphasize in incentivizing fundraisers of all kinds, both your major gift fundraisers as well as all the people who are working on your fundraising team, is I highly recommend treating your organization like an ecosystem, because you don't want to have so much emphasized on individual performance of fundraisers that they do something that's not great for a donor relationship in order to land an immediate gift, and B, you do not want to incentivize them so individually that they stop really using their full skill set of who is the best person to ask for this gift. If you're incentivizing your whole team on raising money, certainly there's individual goals, but I think that you should have, at the very least, a point in there that they get, fundraisers get real credit for saying, hey, I'm not the right person to close this gift. I think this person is a better person to close this gift. That's really thinking strategically, and that's when you start using the full superpowers of your fundraisers, your entire fundraising team, regardless of whether they're frontline, major gifts, stewardship, even the people who do research. You know, you really want to think strategically about who is this donor going to respond to and why. Not in a way that you want to create a weird power dynamic, but really in, you know, who is that donor feels is the best listener, who feels a greater understanding in that relationship. You know, a lot of times when I was working on large gifts for big organizations, it was really about me being the conduit and the coach to somebody else in the organization who maybe is not a traditional fundraiser, but who has primacy in that relationship for whatever reasons. And it's my job to help them figure that out. So treating team goals organization-wide, as well as really doing some intentional celebration of partnership work and team asks, takes a lot of that fear and frustration and weird incentivizing of particularly your major gift officers out of the equation. It needs to be a team effort because it has to be good for both the organization as well as the donor. And sometimes, you know, the fundraiser is a conduit for that and not necessarily the person making the ask. That's part of the deep skill. So it's like I said, I could probably talk on all sorts of aspects of this for hours and hours, but I'll keep it at 4 minutes. That treat it like an ecosystem and incentivize people for working together. Sometimes your best fundraisers are not always the ones that are in front of that particular multi-million dollar ask. So if you have any questions in the future for the Salty Fundraiser, whether you want to be anonymous or named, please feel free to shoot me an email. And if I have thoughts about it, it may show up on a future edition of the Salty Fundraiser. Take care.